YouTube. Get onto the main account as well, so you can manage it from there. Do all the necessary stuff too. There we go. Race Spec. There is the American series. Good. And the audio is working as it should. The stream's up, the chat's up. We're all good to go. Fantastic. Hello everyone and welcome to round 11 of the PlayStation America series here on Race Spec Esports. I'm Everingham, your commentator for this event, and this time we're racing at the Jeddah Corniche circuit for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. The 3.83 mile 27 turn circuit is the most recent addition to the Formula One schedule, and it's gained a reputation of being one of the most demanding on the calendar. The circuit almost purely consists of high and medium speed bends, meaning average speeds and up and over 250 kilometers an hour. With the wall so close to the racetrack, any mistake from the drivers tonight will more than likely result in some form of accident. Overtaking is limited to the 3 DRS zones that lead into turns 1, a slightly banked sweeper of 13, and the final corner 27. The DRS zone before turn 13 is actually misplaced. It's supposed to be between turns 19 and 22, the section that JBH is going through right now, but anyway, that'll be fixed next game in F1 2022. With it being reasonably difficult to overtake, qualifying becomes all that more important, which is fantastic, because qualifying here tends to be very fast and very intense. But before we fully focus on qualifying, there is a little bit of news to go through first from last week's race in Bahrain. Only a single incident report, but it's a doozy involving Rafixa, Mighty Wombat and Shizant, and as a result, Rafixa got a 15-second time penalty and 3 penalty points for a collision caused at turn 1. And also Mighty Wombat got a 3-second time penalty removed for corner cutting because the stewards deemed that was unfair. And as a result, it moves Wombat from P11 to P10 in the final results. Rafixa stays in P15 in the final results, but will have to serve a a race ban for this race, as Rafixa has accumulated 8 penalty points. So as a result, he's got a race ban. Also, as you can see right now, Darluto has retired from qualifying. That's because he has to serve a qualifying ban, so they'll more than likely start from the back. Looking at the Drivers' Championship, KD 1997 is leading the way on 230 points, followed by Renner Jr. on 161. 69 points separating the top 2 in the championship. It's a very comfortable margin to have with only a few rounds to go. It would need to be something catastrophic for KD to lose the championship at this point. Mighty Wombat is third on 144 points, 86 behind KD, only 17 behind Renner Jr. Rafa is fourth on 123, followed by JBH on 121. Darluto just 1 point behind on 120. Completing the top 10, we have Black Baller, Noah, Lake Show, and Oscar Toll. In the Constructors' Championship, Mercedes are leading on 327 points, followed by Alfa Romeo on 217. 110 points between the top 2 teams in the Constructors. It's looking like Mercedes will take the Constructors' Championship. Aston Martin are third on 185, followed by Williams on 176, then Ferrari on 151. Completing the table, we have Red Bull, Alpine, AlphaTauri, McLaren and Haas at the bottom of the order. That's pretty much it in terms of news. We can now focus on quali, and I've also been informed by Flavius that there's only a 2% chance of rain, so we shouldn't see any wet weather interference, which is good to hear. We've got a few lap times on the board. Currently it's Mighty Wombat at the top with a 1 minute 27.928, beating KD, our championship leader, by just under 600ths of a second. Someone's just jumped up. I think that was Black Baller in the Ferrari, setting a 1 minute 29.8. We can see on the leaderboard a few drivers trying to set times on the medium compound tyre. We've got yellow flags about in the third sector. Our car going slowly. Shizard's making his way towards the sweeper of turn 13. I have a feeling, just like it was last night in Pacific Tier 1, this is going to be a race of attrition. We're probably going to see a fair few retirements over the course of this race here in Jeddah. It's a very, very demanding racetrack. Very, very, very little margin for error. As soon as you make even the tiniest mistake, you're basically going into the wall. You just can't really afford to lose concentration, lose rhythms. Flavius has a fairly awkward first sector. Lob's coming towards the end of a flying lap. Coming around turn 27, one of only a few overtaking opportunities on the racetrack, and he has an awkward run out of the hairpin as Guitar Hero has crashed out. That's at the exit of turn 24, entering turn 25. Let's see if we can see him. Right on board here with Snake and Beans, who was on a outlap. This is turn 24 here. Oh my goodness. My initial guess is that he lost the back end out to 24 and just put it into the right-hand side wall. So he's our second retirement from qualifying. It would mean both Alpines would start from the back. Was Snake and Beans rather awkwardly gets out of the way there. I think that would be SP Jaber, who's on a flying lap. It is. He goes 9 fastest with a 1 minute 29.917. Few drivers on in laps now. Oh, it's... well, that was a pit entry and a half there from Rafa. Oh, dearie me. Thank goodness he didn't crash out. Otherwise, yeah, that would be rather embarrassing. And I think Oscar's going to go into the pit lane here. Yes, he is. Snake and Beans, he's not on a proper flying lap. He's not consuming any battery. Renault, we're going to ride on board here. The Alfa Romeo driver, give you a proper tour of this 3.8 mile, 27 turn racetrack. Heading into turn 1, probably the best overtaking spot on the circuit. Through turn 2 and into the little left-hand kink of turn 3. Now heading up towards turn 4. There's a lot of room on the inside, so you have to cut as much as you can here. Into turn 5 now. Now the double left of 6 and then 7. Then the double right of 8 and 9. You can see he's keeping the car nice and stable, not trying to abuse the track limits too much. Coming out of turn 10 where we saw Mick Schumacher Bennett in the 2022 Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Around turn 13 now. You have to be careful not to use too much of that inside curve. It can catch you out if you're quite unlucky. Through turn 15 into 16 and 17. A very tight, very easy to make a mistake chicane. Especially if you clip the wall on the inside of turn 16. It's quite easy to do. Or run wide at turn 17. That's also quite easy to do. Through turn 22 into turn 23. Around 24 onto the final part of the racetrack through turn 25. And turn 26. There's a lot of turns on this racetrack. And then the final corner, turn 27. Brings it down to third gear. Hits the apex nicely. It's a nice run on the exit too. We'll open DRS, head towards the line. And Renner Jr. will set a 1 minute 29.049. He goes 5th fastest. About 9 minutes left in qualifying. KD's making his way through the first sector, coming around turn 10 into 11 and 12. What does the clock say in the opening sector? He's up by half a second, well, almost half a second to the opening sector. That is a massive, massive improvement. Mighty Wombats coming out of turn 3, heading towards 4 and 5. These two, alongside Oscar Toll, seem to be the cream of the crop. JBH isn't too far behind either, I just noticed. He's set a 28.2. KD, he's found a whole heap of time in that first sector. What about here in the middle sector? What does the clock say? He's lost time. He's lost about 2/10 here in this middle sector, making his way through 22 and 23. He's still pushing hard. He's still consuming battery. He hasn't pulled out of this lap just yet. Mighty Wombat is down to the first sector. He's coming through 16 and 17, really chucking it in there, carrying as much speed as he can. KD's heading towards... Oh, hang on. There we are. KD's coming out of the final corner, heading towards the line. and improves by almost 4/10 to set a 27.603. Wombat is only just a little bit up by 19 thousandths of a second. He only has one major corner to worry about, and that is turn 27. Entering at 319 kilometers an hour, brings it down to third gear. It's on the power nicely, gets a nice run on the exit. What does the clock say? When Wombat crosses the line, he improves by just over a tenth and a half to set a 1 minute 27.757. He's currently a tenth and a half off KD's time. Oscar getting ready, JBH getting ready as well. Laquito has invalidated his lap. Rafa appears to be on a second out lap, I reckon. Either that or he's going to go back. Oh, he's just turned on his battery now, so he is going to try and push. Black Ball is up by 1.1 seconds. He's now on the soft compound tyre. His previous best was set on a medium compound tyre. Heading towards the final corner. Entering in at about 380. Brings it down to fourth gear, then down to third. Gets on the power. Gets right up towards the wall on the exit as well. He'll open DRS, head towards the line, and Black Baller improves to P5 with a 1 minute 28.648. Oscar running wide at turn 8. Fortunately for him, it hasn't invalidated his lap, but he's down by 7/10 of a second in the first sector, so this is a genuine run from Oscar. Through turn 8 into 9, then into turn 10, and 11 and 12! Oh, it's JBH! Almost did a Schumacher impression there at turn 10. What a superb catch, though. That was amazing. I thought he was well and truly gone there, but no, he saved it. He's still in qualifying. Rafa is up by just under a tenth and a half in the first sector. Actually, in the middle sector, I should say. He's coming through the final sector now. Heading around the final corner. Onto the main straightaway now. He'll open DRS, head up towards the line. Crosses it and improves by a tenth and a half. 8th fastest with a 29.3. Lake Show is currently up by 1.7 seconds to the middle sector. Heading up towards control line. Lake Show improves to P5 with a 1 minute 28.469. Baller getting out of the way as we've got a few drivers here in the lower half of the field setting laps. Noah's setting off on a flying lap. He's yet to set a lap time, currently 17th in the order. He's making his way towards the intense S section through turn 5 towards turn 6 and 7. Chucking it in as fast as he dares, or using the full width of the racetrack at the exit of turn 8. Gets through 10 pretty well. Heading up to the first sector split, he does a 30.4 to the first sector. Around turn 13, short shifting to 5th there to find traction, using the full width of the circuit at the exit of 13. Exiting 14 now into 15, then 16 and 17, 5th gear on the power. Nice and tidy through that chicane. Now heading up to the middle sector split. What does the clock say for Noah? 58 flat, and apparently he's purple to the middle sector. We'll see what his time looks like at the end of the lap. Out to 24, around 25, and into 26. We've got some fairly insignificant corners on this racetrack, I have to say. The fact that 25 and 26 are corners on this racetrack is kind of amazing, but anyway. Exiting 27, heading onto the straightaway with DRS wide open. Noah will cross the line to set a 1 minute 27.769. He goes third fastest, just in front of his teammate Oscar Toll. So at the moment, the Aston Martins, they're looking pretty solid here in Jeddah. Mike Show going into the pits, he's out of fuel. Renner Jr. on a outlap with just under 3.5 minutes left in qualifying. Real possibility that this could be his final flying lap. He's coming around the final corner, heading on to the main straightaway. A nice tidy run. It's important that you maximize speed at the exit of the final corner. So then you can maximize speed down the main straightaway. Heading into turn 1. Chucking it in through turn 2. Bringing it down to second gear for turn 2 just to get extra rotation. Heading into turn 4 now. Then turn 5. Giving it big lift there. Trying to get the car turned in. Around turn 8. Into turn 9. Back on the power through 10. Oh, as he almost does a Schumacher as well. But he saves it, but he's down by 1/10 to the first sector. It might be wise for him to bail out of this lap and have another go later on, rather than continue to push. It seems like he's pushing still. He's consuming battery. What does the clock say to the middle sector as he goes through turn 19 into 20? And into turn 21, he is down still. Yeah, I think it would be wise for him to just back off a bit. Reset yourself and have another go. As Noah has invalidated at turn 2. Cutting too much at the second apex. As a result, it's invalidated his lap time. Snake and Beans has retired from the session inside the pit lane, so he'll be starting from 17th. Oscar making his way through the first sector, now currently P4 with the 28.1. Coming around turn 5 into 6. Then into turn 7 and 8. Now 9 and 10 away. It's a bit squirrely at turn 8. He gets a nice run out of 10. Clock says he's up by just over 1/10.5 in the first sector. Around turn 13. Gets it down to 4th gear. Keeps it in 4th. Then short shifting now. He's right up against the wall at turn 13. Around turn 14. Now into 15, 16 and 17. 4th gear. Gets on the power. 5th gear. 6th gear on the exit using the full width of the circuit. Through turn 19 into 20. What does the clock say? In the middle sector, he's found a little bit of more time in the middle sector. Not a lot, but just a little bit more. Can he crack into the 27s? I don't think he'll be challenging his teammate in the 2 in front of his teammate, but he can certainly improve by a healthy margin. Heading up towards the final corner. Brings it down from top gear all the way down to 3rd. It's on the power. It's a tidy exit. He now opens DRS, heads towards the line. Oscar will set a 1 minute 28 flat. He lost a little bit of time in the final sector. Mighty Wombat has invalidated his lap. He's not going to improve. KD is just behind the Williams driver, on track at least. Definitely in front on the leaderboard at the moment. Coming out of 17 through 18, 19. Then towards turn 20. The clock say for KD, he's up by 0.2 of a second. He's found a healthy amount of time to the middle sector. Gets a tidy run through 23 and 24. And he has one major corner remaining, and that is the final corner. Turn 27. He'll enter at 315 kilometers an hour. A bit slower than some of the rivals that he is facing against in this race. He'll open DRS, head up towards the line. And KD improves to a 1 minute 27.406. Can well and truly hammer himself into pole position. I don't think anyone's challenging that. There's a Alfa Romeo going by. It's not Renault, must be Flavius. Rafa's down to the middle sector. I don't think he's going to improve. Use the full width of the circuit there at the exit of 27. He'll open DRS, head up towards the line, and Rafa, what do you know, doesn't improve. Flavius, though, is up by 3.5 tenths. That sort of improvement. He can challenge Psycho for P14, but he doesn't bother completing the lap. He ducks back into pit lane. I do believe that would be qualifying over. So it's KD 1997 on pole position for the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix, setting a 1 minute 27.406, beating Mighty Wombat, who set a 1 minute 27.757. He wasn't able to improve at the end of qualifying as he invalidated his final flying lap. Noah isn't too far behind in P3, setting a 27.769, only 12 thousandths separating P2 and 3. Then Oscar Toll will start from 4th place, making it a decent qualifying session for Aston Martin. Ferrari looked pretty decent as well, with JBH and Black Baller in P5 and 6. Lake Show P7th, Renner Jr. in 8th, Liquito and Rafa, the 2 Red Bull cars, will start 9th and 10th. Inside the top 10 we have Shizant, Jaber, Istev, Psycho, Flavius, Lob, Snake and Beans, Darluto and Guitar Hero. Didn't set lap times. Darluto because he has a qualifying ban. Guitar Hero because he crashed out at the beginning of qualifying at turn 24. Just waiting on Black Baller now, or the clock, either or. We can move on to the race itself. Yeah, it's kind of amazing on PlayStation how long it takes to do updates. Like, the download doesn't take too long, but the copying bit takes forever, so I feel for you, Cameron. Rightio. That's qualifying. Top 10, all of them will be starting on the soft compound tyre. I don't imagine too many drivers will be starting on the medium. Strategy for tonight is an easy soft medium or medium soft if you want to try the alternate strategy. That is, of course, with the notion that we won't see any safety cars for this race, and I find that doubtful, because safety cars, yeah, they're pretty common here, so we're bound to see at least one. Yeah, I feel you, Rafa. KD is well and truly on top of his game here in the Americas series. It's a tough cookie to beat at the moment. There's a counter counting down. What does this race have in store for us tonight? Done 2 races here, commentary-wise, with Pacific Elite and Pacific Tier 1. The latter of which was one of the most dramatic races I think I've seen in my commentary career. So much stuff went on during that race. It's very difficult to keep in touch with all of it. So I wonder what America Series has in store for us tonight. Drivers will be setting off on their formation lap. Let's see what the drivers outside the top 10 are doing in terms of tyre strategy. Well then, I didn't expect that. So obviously the top 10, they're all starting on the soft compound tyre. And there's Cameron joining literally 3 seconds too late. Sorry, Cameron. That's the top 10, all of them starting on the soft tyre. Outside the top 10, the first car we have outside the top 10 is Shizant. He's starting on the medium compound tyre, same with Jaber and P12. Istev and Psycho, the 2 AlphaTauri cars, starting P13 and 14, they're starting on the mediums as well. Flavius P15 on the mediums, Log P16 on the mediums, Snake and Beans P17, he's starting on the soft tyre. Darluto in P18 starting on the mediums, and Guitar Hero on the soft tyre. So the Alpines are running 2 different strategies, which isn't a bad idea. But I'm quite surprised with how many people want to start on the medium compound tyre. It's not a particularly amazing tyre compared to the softs. The soft tyre is significantly quicker over about 5-6 laps compared to the mediums. So, best of luck to this lot, I guess. Move our way back towards the front. There we go. Race time. 19 car field as well, which is pretty good to see. Something that the Americas Series has done pretty well is attendance. Predicted tyre stop strategy. Lap 10 to 12 is the pit window for the soft compound tyre drivers going onto the medium compound tyre. Leaders are making their way back onto the grid. That's a problem with really long racetracks. Really, really long outlaps. And there's not much to talk about at the moment, unfortunately. Hello, PRL Saint. Supporting the PRL boys, I'm imagining. They're looking pretty decent, P2 and 3. Getting HP5. KD's lined up ready to race, and he's on the outside for turn 1. So he's on the racing line, which is the cleaner side of the racetrack. So theoretically, he should get a better start. But if he doesn't, Mighty Wombat has the inside line for turn 1, so there's a real chance he could lead out of turn 1 through turn 2. The Alpines are now lined up ready to go. So we should be ready to race. 19 cars tonight. 25 laps in front of us and 10 red lights. And we are underway here in Jeddah. KD gets a pretty nice start from pole position as we head down towards turn 1. It will be KD who leads. Noah and Wombat are side by side through turn 2. They exit turn 2. Noah's in front. We got yellow flags as Shizant spins. And Lob gets a 5-second time penalty for a severe collision with his teammate. Leaders are now making their way through this opening S section. They do have to be very careful. Tyres are not up to temperature just yet. They need to be worn in just a little bit so that you can get maximum grip out of these tyres. KD just has a small margin at the moment, 6/10. Why is that on leader? There we go, interval, that's better. Oscar, Lake Show, side by side at the exit of turn 13. Oscar gets in front of the Mercedes. Black Baller is just behind in the Ferrari as they go through turn 16 and 17 for the first time in race conditions. Heading through the middle sector towards the final sector. Oh, and you can see there Black Baller all over the back of Lake Show. He's just got nowhere to go, unfortunately, as they head through 22 and 23. Underneath the building through 24, then into 25. A fairly controlled start, I have to say, for the America Series. Really good to see no major incidents outside of what happened between Shizant and Lob, as Darluto is already up to 11th place. Great start from the Alpine driver. Mighty Wombat right on the back of Noah, heading down towards turn 1. He looks, but he won't be able to commit to a move. He's not quite close enough heading into turn 1 through turn 2. Now it's key for Noah to stay right behind KD. He can't let KD check out and just drive away. DRS is awfully powerful here as we got 4 cars into the pit lane already. Jaber, Shizant, Lob and Psycho, all of them in. Jaber's moved on to the hard compound tyre. We'll see what the other drivers put on. Shizant has put on a set of medium, Psycho onto a set of hards. And Lob, wait to see what he goes on to in just a few moments. Coming out to turn 13, heading around 14. Lob has put on the soft compound tyre. Through 16 and 17, the gap is 0.6 of a second between the top 2, and it's steadily gaining. Now I noticed with KD during qualifying, he wasn't hitting the same top speeds as some of the other drivers around him. Heading into the final corner, he was only hitting about 315 kilometers an hour compared to some cars that were hitting 380. So KD doesn't have a particularly quick car on the straights. I wonder how much that will affect him during this race. Going into the final corner, Noah defending that inside line. Mighty Wombat can't get the over-under done at the exit of the hairpin. We now begin lap 3 of 25 here at Saudi Arabia, and Oscar Toll sets the fastest lap with a 31.6. See this 5-car train forming at the front. Lake Show's got a 1-second margin between him and Oscar. Needs to get within that 1-second range desperately, otherwise these top 5 are just going to drive away. Through turn 5 into turn 6 into 7, then 8 into 9. KD hasn't really pulled away too much from Noah as Renner gets a 3-second time penalty. Noah has DRS and he is closing in, not by enough though to attack into turn 13. JDH has lost a little bit of time to Mighty Wombat. The gap is just under a second. Coming through 15, 16, now into 17. Noah is right on the back of KD. Coming through 19 into 20. The gap is 0.3 of a second. Through 22 and 23, you can see the drivers using all of that inside runoff area, well, as much as they can anyway, without getting a warning. JBH doesn't have DRS. This will hurt him quite a bit. Here comes Oscar to take P4, and Noah takes the lead at the final corner. KD, will he be able to respond? I think the answer is yes. DRS really is that powerful. He is using an awful lot of battery down this main straight. Pulls out of the slipstream, down the inside of Noah into turn 1. KD goes deep, but so does Noah here at turn 2. They're side by side on the exit. Through turn 3, they're wheel to wheel, heading towards the left-hander of 4. KD has the inside line. There's contact between the two, and Noah spins out from second place and tumbles down to P7. P8 now. Darluto's coming onto the scene, and he has to take avoiding action and drops a position to Rafa, who moves himself into 8th place. Noah's down now into 11th. Oh dearie me, that one spin has well and truly cost him. He's got a lot of work to do to get back towards the front. It's now KD from Mighty Wombat and Oscar Toll. JBH is in this train as well in the Ferrari. There's a bit of a gap to Lake Show in P5. And at the moment he's got his hands full with Black Baller in the other Ferrari in P6. Lovely aerial shot here looking over the racetrack. You see Wombat closing in quite a bit thanks to slipstream. Probably a more straight line orientated setup. They're now making their way over the Red Sea. It's quite a cool looking part of the racetrack, you do have to say that. And here comes Mighty Wombat. Not close enough to attack here into the final corner. He might have a go here down the main straightaway into turn 1. Wombat's got DRS open. KD's a bit of a sitting duck. And here comes the Williams down the inside towards 1. He's in front of the Mercedes, and KD cannot do a thing. And he moves himself into the lead, Mighty Wombat. KD has to relinquish that and move into second. Through turn 4 into 5. And into turn 6. Can Wombat pull away from KD through this opening sector? The answer is not really. KD's keeping up lob, a 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. Sector 3 yellows, Jaber is out of the race, our first retirement, and we have a virtual safety car. He has gone straight on, look. There's his Haas, way, way, way off. Okay, interesting. No one's really in a position to try and take advantage of this VSC in pit. So this is just going to bring about a brief pause to the race. Gabriel's left the session. Virtual safety cars hanging around for a little bit. We'll see these leaders maybe take advantage of it if it stays around for this long. Certainly try. They're staying out. They always seem to do. And there we go. We're back under green flag running here in Jeddah. Now lap 6 of 25. Coming out to turn 2 towards turn 3. Rafa gets by Darluto. That was on the main straightaway with DRS, you can tell on the mini-map. Through turn 4 into turn 5. And around 6 and 7 there's blue flags ahead for some reason. There's no cars in front of these two. So, whatever. Heading up towards turn 13, KD has DRS, so he'll be closing in on Mighty Wombat. Oscar doesn't have any DRS, so he needs to get within 1 second of KD. Otherwise the top two will drive away. JVH in 4th, Black Baller P5 just in front of Lake Show in P6. And it's the two Red Bulls of Laquito and Rafa in P7 and 8. Darluto climbing up through the order. He's in 9th and he's on the medium compound tyre as well. So he's doing really, really well here in Jeddah. We've still got a long way to go. Guitar Hero completes the top 10. Then we have Noah after his spin. He's in P11. And as I mentioned earlier, he's got a lot of work. Well, with a safety car or two. I Step P12 followed by Flavius, Snake and Beans, Renner Jr., Shizant, Psycho and Lob. Wombat still holding on to the lead. KD has DRS and he's closing in. Down towards turn 1, it's 2/10. Now it's 1.5. KD looks to the inside, breaks deep. They're side by side through 1, they're side by side through 2. There's contact at the apex of turn 2. KD gets in front and he's back into the lead. Lake Show and Black Baller battling for P5. Lake Show gets in front. Black Baller moves back to P6. A battle here between Rafa and Darluto. Like I said, Darluto doing a really good job on those mediums. And if he gets a bit of luck with the safety car, I wouldn't be surprised if he's up towards the front, towards the end. Yeah, he's putting himself in quite a nice position strategically. What won't help him is a really early safety car, like what we could have had with Jaber. Towards the chicane of 16 and 17. Baller is close. He won't be able to... Oh, hang on. Oh, it's JBH. He has spun. He has spun at turn 17. Oh, and he's hitting the wall. Oh, dear. And here comes traffic. Hello, rest of the field. How are you? Oh, dear. And he's destroyed his front wing in the process of trying to point that car back in the right direction. So he'll have to pit and get that fixed as KD and Mighty Wombat are battling. And Oscar's well and truly in this too in P3. So it's a 3-car fight at the front. Here comes KD. You can see the flashing red lights on the back of that Mercedes. He's low on battery. Won't stop him from trying to overtake Wombat there at turn 1. Coming out at 2, he gets a very tidy run. He tries to draw alongside the Williams, but he fails. Wombat hangs on to the lead. Through turn 5 towards 6 and 7. KD is very close to the back of Wombat here through this section. Will he be close enough to attack into turn 13 perhaps? He's 3/10 behind. We'll get a mighty run with the help of DRS. But yeah, not close enough. JBH and Noah, they're both into the pit lane. Noah's pitted onto a set of medium compound tyres, JBH onto a set of hards. Probably could have went on to the medium tyre and go to the end from here. Should be quite doable. Pit window was lap 10 to 12 for the worn soft tyre. It would be about lap 10 to 13 on the fresh soft compound tyre. So yeah. Probably could have went on to the mediums and go to the end. Here comes Oscar. Look at the speed that Aston Martin has. Both cars have DRS and he slingshots by. KD fights though down the inside of the final corner and he hangs on to P2. But as a result of that squabbling, they've lost a few tenths to Wombat as KD goes into the pit lane. Pulls it up nicely. And medium tyres at the ready for KD. Off go the soft tyre, on go the medium. So a bit of an undercut going on. Black Baller working away at Lake Show. Going around turn 3 towards 4 and 5. Really can't do much through this section in terms of overtaking. It's just about minimising mistakes through here. Black Baller's losing a little bit of time. That dirty air probably not helping him out. Gap is... Oh, it's actually decreased a little bit, so Lake Show probably not getting a great run out of turn 10. Black Ball is now back onto the gearbox of the Mercedes. Now what do these two do in response to KD pitting early? Do they respond this lap? Do they stretch the soft tyres out? We'll have to wait and see. Moving towards the chicane of 22 and 23, the gap 8-10, so Oscar should get DRS here. He most certainly does. Up towards the final corner, gap 9/10. How much does it shrink by? Out of curiosity. Not by much, to be honest. Only by a tenth or so. As Black Baller gets by Lake Show into P3. Wombat's in. Oscar stays out. He's going to try and stretch these soft compound tyres out just that little bit more. Baller's in. Lake Show is in. Have to be careful at pit entry, otherwise you get a 5-second time penalty for speeding if you cut too much of that pit lane entry. Saw a driver do it in Pacific Tier 1, and I've done it myself in a league race here at Jeddah. Not fun. So Luto takes second place on the medium compound tyre. Gap between him and Oscar's 14 seconds. Alright. Better keep an eye on that interval. Look at other stuff going on though. As Wombat is in front of KD, but he's pitted onto the hard tyre. Oh, why have you done that? That's not a good choice at all. I don't know how good those hard tyres are, but I don't think they're particularly amazing. Zaquito and KD are battling for 4th place on track. Yellow flags are about. That's a slow-moving McLaren at the exit of turn 10. I think that might be Shizened as KD gets through on Laquito. Yeah, no, I don't think I've ever used the hard tyre here at Jeddah. I don't think it's a particularly good race tyre. Suppose we'll find out. Gap is 1.1 seconds between Wombat and KD as Oscar into the pit lane. The main straight, a little bit of lag there as Guitar Hero gets by, Lake Show gets by Guitar Hero into P7. Istev, Renner battling for 10th. Renner gets by into P10. Laquito, he's pitting onto a set of hard compound tyres with a front wing change to boot. And Oscar has come out ahead of KD on the medium tyre, so stretching it out seemed to be the better option rather than pitting early. So in terms of who's gained the most, it's Wombat. Now in front of both Oscar and KD. Oscar's now in front of KD. And he's on slightly fresher medium compound tyres. Oscar's in a pretty nice position here. Wombat's now on the back of Darluto. Noah a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Now hard with these two battle. Through 22 into 23. Oh, that probably was a track limits warning for Wombat at 23. He's got DRS, Darluto doesn't, and as a result the Alpines are sitting duck. Oscar and KD close in as well as the leaders make their way around the final corner. Now Wombat doesn't have any DRS to help him out, and Darluto is close, and he's not going to muck around here, the Alpine driver. He's onto the racing line. Wombat defends. Oh, he tries to defend the inside line at turn 1, but he can't hang on to the lead. So Darluto moves back in front. Through turn 4 into 5. Then into turn 6. You can see how much time Darluto is gaining. Even on these old tyres, the dirty air is really affecting the cars behind. Heading down towards the sweeper of turn 13. Mighty Wombat trying to follow Darluto as best he can. Heading through 14 towards the chicane of 15, 16 and 17. Wombat is very close. Oh, almost touching there at turn 16. But Darluto gets a very tidy run out of 17. Around turn 21 towards 22 and 23. Oscar's close as well in the Aston Martin. Through the chicane. Around 27. Now, Wombat, Oscar and KD, they'll all have DRS. We've got Sector 2 yellows. That is Flavius in the Alfa Romeo. Heading around the final corner. Oscar takes the lead. Darluto takes it back. Who gets DRS down the main straight? Between Oscar and Darluto, it's Darluto. Now Wombat overtakes Oscar. KD's getting in on the action as well. and overtakes the Aston Martin as Wombat's trying to look around the outside of 1, down the inside at 2. They're side by side on the exit around turn 3. Darluto hangs on to the lead. Heading around turn 4 into 5. The gap is 0.2 of a second. That gap will probably increase thanks to dirty air. Now 2.5, 0.3 around turn 9 into turn 10. Didn't gain too much this time around Darluto. Into the sweeper of turn 13. Well, that is just behind the Alpine. There's not much you can do for this section of the racetrack. You just have to wait until the final parts of the circuit to try and make moves as Flavius goes into the pit lane. Heading up towards the middle sector split. The gap is now 0.4 of a second between Wombat and Darluto. Katie's right behind in third, followed by Oscar Toll. Lakeshore and Black Baller, they're a fair ways behind now. Lakeshore about 4 seconds behind as Mighty Wombat had to cut all of turn 23. That is bound to be a warning. Got DRS to help recover some time. He's looking to the inside of Darluto and takes the lead at the final corner. Darluto, though, gets a pretty tidy run. I see Williams' front wing on the ground there. That has to be Snake and Beans, who's in the pit lane, and Wombat goes in. Wombat's into the pits. Now, his teammate, I think, is just in front of him. He's going to get service, but he's just retired. So, Wombat's going to lose time thanks to his teammate. Now, why is he in to begin with? Front wing change. That front wing looks fine. He's in. Alright. Well, that really sucks for Mighty Wombat. As Katie and Oscar are side by side through turn 13. Oscar on the outside, Katie on the inside. Coming out to the sweeper, Katie's in front. He's into second. Through 15, into 16 and 17. It's really tight between the top 3. Heading through this flat out section towards the chicane of 22 and 23. Katie not close enough to do anything here. Not that you really want to. He loses a bit of time to Darluto through that chicane as Laquito overtakes Guitar Hero for P9. You see the flashing red lights on the back of the car as well as Guitar Hero takes the position back. Meanwhile, KD's looking on the outside of Darluto. They're side by side at the exit of the hairpin. KD's in front, but that will mean he doesn't have DRS down the main straight. Darluto does. Here comes the Alpine to retake the lead. It's the same story, lap on lap, with Darluto. Lakeshore, Black Baller, side by side into turn 1. It's tight. Through turn 2, Black Baller has the inside line. He cut so much, in fact, he got a 3-second time penalty. As Snake and Beans leaves the session, Black Baller moves into 4th place. So he's still having at it. You see there on the steering wheel, just under 20% battery for KD. So he doesn't have a lot in terms of resources. DRS open. Darluto covers that inside line to make sure KD doesn't send it into 13. Oh, Oscar gets close. This is fantastic to watch. Not close enough, though, to attack KD. Through the chicane of 16 and 17. Through this now flat-out section, KD is close. He won't be close enough to attack as Noah and Rafa, they might have come together here, I'm not sure, but Rafa's around and he's beefing and banging the walls to try and get pointed back in the right direction. Here comes Ice Dev and Mighty Wombat onto the scene, and Rafa drops down to 9th. Make that 10th as JBH goes by. Oh, and here comes the next 2 cars, the next 3 cars rather, and Rafa drops down to 13th. KD takes the lead at the final corner. Oscar follows through. Darluto, Oscar are side by side heading down the main straight. Darluto gets in front, but I think KD's got a big enough margin to hang on to the lead here. As, oh, it might be 3 wide heading into turn 1. Oscar trying to look down the inside, can't do it. Darluto and KD are banging wheel to wheel at turn 2. They bang in even more, and Darluto goes into the wall, destroying his front wing. He now has to do an entire lap with a missing front wing. He's going to lose a catastrophic amount of time to the leaders. Now it's just a battle between two, Oscar and KD, at the front of the field. Mighty Wombat pits again. Really? Well, you into the pit. Another bit of front wing damage. Yeah, righto. Yellow flag's about. KD has made a mistake. He's made a mistake, I think, at turn 13. Either that or he collided with Oscar at turn 13. I'm not sure. What I do know, though, he's down in 4th place. Behind Black Baller and his teammate, Lake Show. Running through 22 and 23. KD's got a bit of work to do to catch up to Oscar. Won't be easy. There's his teammate Lake Show, who is chipping away at that gap between him and Lake Show. Between him and Oscar, I should say. As Noah gets by Darluto into P5, Laquito gets a 3-second time penalty. Darluto with that destroyed front wing. Yeah, he's losing time. Hand over fist as Black Baller moves himself into 2nd place. Coming out to turn 2 into turn 3. How will this go between the two teammates, between Lake Show and KD? Through turn 4 into 5. Then into turn 6 and 7. Very tight between these three. Oscar Toll, he isn't really pulling away. Still hovering at about 1.8 seconds as they head into turn 13. Darluto pits for a set of soft compound tyres. He should be able to make it to the end pretty easily. As Renner Jr. overtakes Ice Dev, that was for P11. There's Oscar. Here's Black Baller, Lake Show and KD. The Lake Show will be close enough to attack into the final corner. There's a McLaren just in front of Oscar. It's Lob. He's been showing blue flags and he gets out of the way pretty well there. Gap's out 1.6 seconds. Yellow flags are about. That's just a slow moving Lob trying to get out of the way of everybody. Darluto gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. And here comes Lake Show and Black Baller. But he actually backs off, I think, instead of trying to attack. And the gap is now 1.3 seconds. I think that's because Black Baller was able to get DRS thanks to Lob. So he's closed the gap to Oscar by quite a bit. Lake Show looking to the inside at 1. It's tied at the apex of turn 1. KD's trying to get on the action as well. He's trying to draw alongside his teammate heading towards turn 4. But Lake Show has the inside line, so he hangs on. Noah's into the pit lane as well for a set of soft compound tyres. Through turn 8 into 9. Then into turn 10. Heading up towards the DRS zone. Lake Show closing in on Black Baller. Baller defends the inside line. Lake Show doesn't care. He's looking around the long way. He gets drive. Black Baller loses the back end a little bit as Laquito has crashed out. And we have a safety car. The first safety car of the race on lap 18 of 25. Laquito appears to have lost it at, I think that's 21. I think. Right on board here with our race leader. Yeah. Have he lost it here? Yeah, oh my goodness. Right on the racing line. No wonder why the safety cars come out. Right. What did the leaders do? I would pit. Because I wouldn't lose any more positions below P4. Because JBH is 35 seconds behind. So if you're Oscar and you pit, the worst that could happen is that you come out in 4th. So you gotta pit. You gotta pit for soft runner. You've got to. KD's taking a bit of time here, which is a smart thing to do because obviously you don't want to lose too much time during the double stack. Yeah, in and out pretty cleanly there for both Mercedes cars, and they're all onto the soft compound tyre. Yeah, I reckon a lot of people are going to be pitting here. Noah doesn't have to. He's on relatively fresh soft tyres, so he doesn't have to make another stop. And yeah, he stays out. Guitar Hero comes in. Rafa, he'll probably come in as well, I imagine. Okay, then. He doesn't. I don't... Okay. Soft tyres for JBH. Darluto stays out. Similar story between him and Noah. They're relatively fresh, soft compound tyres, so there's no reason to pit. Renner stays out. Yikes. Okay. Maybe Flavius. Flavius can afford to pit. He's got a healthy margin to shizen. If he's got an extra set of soft compound tyres, you might as well try and use them. Almost put it into the wall there. At the final corner. No, he doesn't bother. Right. So, top 5 are all on soft compound tyres, and there's Rafa in P6 on a set of hards. 8 lap old hards. Doing a bit of cleaning up in the shop as well. There we are. Oh, Psycho pinched you against the wall. Laquito, unlucky, buddy. I had a feeling you wouldn't have been able to do that by yourself. Like, to have a crash there, you had to have a helping hand. Yeah, there you go. Unlucky. We almost had a safety carless race, which would have been something, especially considering this is Jeddah, but nope, it's out on track. Hello, Aston Martin safety car. Driven by the virtual Burns Maylander. It's only fitting as well that the car leading the field is also an Aston Martin. This is going to result in a maybe 4-lap shootout, I'd say. I reckon we'll get back on the green flag racing at the beginning of lap 22. I reckon. It all depends on when Lob catches up to the tail of the field. So basically everyone's on fresh rubber. So we bring up the penalty situation. You can see Lakeshow's got 6 seconds. Black Baller has 3. Noah in P5 has 3. Darluto in P7 has 3. Same with Renner Jr. in P10. And Flavius in P13. Lob a lap down. He's got 9 seconds worth of pens. And he's pitting for a set of soft compound tyre. Oh, he's got a missing front wing. Oh, look at that. It's still developing a shadow, though. His front wing was missing, but it was still casting a shadow. Okay. Cool. His whole front wing was missing, but it was still casting a shadow. That's nice. Oh, he almost puts it into the wall there. Dear me. So the only drivers who don't have pens are Oscar, KD, Rafa, JBH, Wombat, Guitar Hero, Ice Dev, Shizant, and Psycho. That's it. Also bring up position change, see who's moved where. Oh, it's in this lap. Rightio, so the safety car is saying, screw it, we're going racing. Alright. There's the position changes. The man who's made the most is Darluto from 18th to 7th. Mega effort from him. Rafa up 4, Black Ball up 3, Lakeshow up 5, Oscar up 3, Guitar Hero up 8. As Oscar comes out of the final corner, getting temperature into his tyres. Noah's taking his sweet time. Oh, he spun! Noah has spun! At the final corner, and that's a reset to track. If ever I saw one, that will more than likely be a penalty for Noah. Coming into turn 1, Lakeshow and Oscar are battling side by side through turn 2 towards turn 3 as Noah gets a 5-second penalty for speeding into the pit lane. Through turn 4, they're side by side still. Through turn 5, Lakeshow gets in front. Black Baller will follow suit into second. Oscar's now vulnerable to KD through turn 8 into turn 9. And then into turn 10 through 11 and 12 towards 13. Black Baller on the attack, looking on the outside into the sweeper. Can he do it on the outside? Lakeshow holds firm with that inside line. It puts him into the wall. And Oscar's back into second place. KD follows through. He's moved into third. Oh, it's tight there at the apex of 16, but both KD and Black Baller get through somehow, as Noah gets a 3-second time penalty. And that's through the opening ad section. Black Baller trying to get by KD here. Can't find a way by as they head towards the chicane of 22 and 23. Oh, what a restart we've had. Nobody's mucking around now. We're going to give it everything as Flavius has spun. That is at 23 as Lakeshow looks to the inside here at the final corner. Oscar gives him room, to his credit. We head down the main straightaway now. End lap 21, begin lap 22. We have 4 laps to go. Heading down towards turn 1. Oscar looking left and right. Oscar committing to the outside. They'll give him the inside line for turn 2. Can he retake the lead on the exit? The answer is yes, he's in front. KD trying to find a way by. Can't do it here into turn 4. Through turn 5 we go. KD loses a little bit of time to his teammate. Black Baller now on the back of him, who in turn loses time through turn 5. He now has Darluto right on the back of him as they go through turns 9 and 10. Oh, as Darluto runs awfully wide. Rapid gets a 3-second time penalty. Heading down towards the sweeper of turn 13. Side by side between JVH and Darluto. JVH on the inside, trying to commit to it. They're side by side on the exit as well. Through 14 towards 15, 16 and 17. Darluto gets in front, shuts the door on the Ferrari and keeps P5. Oh, but he loses the back end. And JVH gets overtaken by Mighty Wombat, who overtakes Darluto as well and gains 2 positions through that chicane. Moves himself back into the top 5. Meanwhile, Oscar's trying to drive away, but Lakeshow is still there. Only half a second separating the top 2. And KD is following suit in P3. Well, Lakeshow's penalty, it's going to be difficult for him to try and win this race as Laquito has left the session, fair enough. Coming around the final corner now, heading back onto the main straightaway. JVH gets by Darluto into P6. It's a tight fight here at the front, and here comes Lakeshow to take the lead as DRS is now enabled with 3 laps to go. Into turn 1, Oscar can't fight back to try and retake the lead. He has to concede and move into second place. Black Baller under a bit of pressure from Mighty Wombat right behind. Bit of a gap between Wombat and JVH, so Wombat, he has that peace of mind knowing that there is a bit of a gap between him and the next car behind. Through turn 8. Noah sets the fastest lap through turn 9 into 10. The gap is 2 tenths, just over 2 tenths. Black Baller gets a 3-second time penalty, and here comes Wombat with DRS on the outside, and he swoops on by into 4th place. Coming out to turn 14 now, heading towards the chicane of 15, 16 and 17. Oscar's half a second behind Lakeshow as JVH gets by his teammate Black Baller into 5th, and Noah gets another 3-second time penalty. Not tyre 1, penalty 1, that's it. KD on the back of Oscar. KD's now got a time penalty next to his name. I failed to notice that. He's now got 3 seconds. Oscar's in a prime position here. He's in P2 and he's got no pens next to his name. He needs to keep the car within the white lines for the remaining laps. He's in with a real shot to win this race. Around the final corner now, heading on to the main straightaway. Guitar Hero overtakes Renner Jr., moves himself into 8th place. Oscar, KD have DRS, and they're closing in on Lakeshow with 2 laps to go. Lakeshow's looking, but can't commit to a move here at turn 1 as Black Baller has to go into the pit lane. He must have got damage at some point. That'll be the only reason why he's going in. In fact, he's retired out of the race, meaning that whoever finishes from here on out will score points. Around turn 5 into turn 6 and then 7. Into 8 and then 9. KD right on the back of Oscar. He's in the full width of the racetrack at turn 11. Opens DRS, but he's not close enough to attack Oscar. Oscar not close enough to attack Lakeshow. Wombat is closing in a little bit, just 1.4 seconds behind these 3 at the front. Heading around turn 14 into 15, 16 and 17. The gap is 2 tenths of a second. they go through 17. Oscar's close, and he's got a whole heap of battery he can use as well. My goodness, he has just over 60%, I think. How about this? Mercedes sandwich here as they go into turn 22 and then 23 through 24. DRS open through 25. KD's close. But he doesn't have enough momentum to try and get by Oscar. Oscar trying to get by Lake Show. Oh, as KD gets almost a pair of them and moves himself into the lead. Lake Show gets it back though. Who gets DRS out of the two Mercedes cars though? It's KD. He gets DRS. Oscar now moves into second place. It's now the final lap, and Oscar's looking to the inside into turn 1 and takes the lead from KD. KD tries to get the over-under done at turn 2. Oscar gets a shocking exit, so KD moves in front. He has the inside line for turn 4 as well, so he keeps the lead on track. Through turn 5, Guitar Hero gets a 3-second time penalty. Wombat's now on the back of this. He's set to take a podium finish so long as he doesn't get any penalties. Darluto takes fastest lap as well with a 1 minute 28.8. Heading through the DRS zone. Heading into turn 13. Oscar is close. Not close enough to attack KD though. Not here into 13. Noah's retired from the session as well. And I think he will be classified too with the amount of laps we have left. So he will score something through turn 17. Then around turn 18, the gap is half a second between KD and Oscar. Through turn 20 into 21. Then towards 22 and 23. Who will take the win on track? It's pretty obvious who will take the win at this point, thanks to penalties. But who will cross the line first on track? Here comes Oscar around the outside of KD, who's a sitting duck without DRS. Lake Show gets him as well into the final corner. Lake Show and Oscar make contact at the final corner. Lake Show spins out. Oscar will take the checkered flag and win the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Wombat takes second. KD will complete the podium in third. JBH will finish in fourth, followed by Lake Show. Then Guitar Hero P6, then Rafa, Shizant, Psycho, and Icedev will round out the top 10 at this stage. And it's Renner, Darluto, and then Flavius will be our final finisher. Well, what an ending. That's what you get with late safety cars. You get really dramatic endings. And we got one tonight. That's for sure. And the final corner now for Flavius. He'll score a few points with 13th place. As Noah has left the session. There we are. This will be Oscar's first win of the season, his second podium of the season after the race at Spa. What an effort from the Aston Martin driver tonight. His debut win in the America Series, I'm pretty sure. What a racetrack to do it at. One of the most demanding on the calendar. Great recovery from Mighty Wombat as well, coming back from those pit stops thanks to damage. Finishing P2 and KD. Getting P3, big bundle of points. Make it more difficult for his rivals to claim the Drivers' Championship. There we are. Oscar Toll taking the win by half a second to Mighty Wombat. KD finishing in third. JBH finishing P4, followed by Lake Show, Guitar Hero, Rafa, Shizant, Psycho, and Icedev complete the 10. Renner Jr., Darluto, Flavius, Noah, and Black Baller will score points as they're classified. Outside of the points, we have Lob and our retirements, Liquito, Snake and Beans, and SP Jaber. Certainly a race here in Saudi Arabia. It was certainly a race. Oh. Good fun. Oh. Well, that will end this week's worth of drama at Saudi Arabia, I think. Almost every race I've commentated here, it's been drama-filled, as you kind of expect from this circuit. And Oscar takes his first win of the America Series. Well done to you, Oscar. Awesome effort. Take your first W. It's always a very special moment. Ah. Whew. That was good. That was a good race. I enjoyed that one. But I think, everyone, with everything said and done, it's now time to end the stream. Certainly an interesting race here at Saudi Arabia. I enjoyed it. But I think with everything finally over, it's time for us to end the stream. Tune in throughout the week, as there's still plenty of racing to come here on Race Spec Esports. But for the America Series, we'll have to wait until next week. Until then, I've been Lane Everingham. Thank you all so much for watching. And we'll see you for round 12 of the championship in my country. The Albert Park Street Circuit for the Australian Grand Prix. Well, we come out of 1 week of drama here at Saudi Arabia. We're probably going to enter a new week of drama at Albert Park. Always been a racetrack full of drama. So, no, looking forward to next week. But until next time, it's goodbye.